free. Um, Technically making $63,000 in 4 years. I turned around and I sold it for 280. Wow, 270, 280. Which at the time I was like, wow, this is a lot of money. So then I sold that. I took the profits, and I bought a condo in Bellevue Street, 19 Bellevue.
Oh yeah, I know
Top
that.
of where Street.
Yeah.
I bought that at auction. That was my first. That was the first property I bought at auction.
Does this look good?
I bought it for $55,000 at the auction, and I bought it at like 2 something in the morning. Wow. I had the money from the other house. I was like, what am I gonna do now? And I was just like looking for things, searching for things, and I was still not as experienced in real estate and construction as I am now.
This was like in 2015, 2016, right?
No, it was before that. 2013.
Okay.
2012. 2011, 2012 on there. So I was like, staying up all night. Like, what am I gonna do next? I have money now. I'm rich.
At that point, we were. I mean, you don't see that kind of money.
I was what? So 2012. No, you guys haven't the whole thing, but I was in my mid 20s with over 100K in the bank, debt free. That was amazing. Like with debt free, over 100K in cash in the bank, which is not like now. Before, saving $10,000 was really hard. Let alone having over 100K. And not going crazy because I was young. So it was like
Discipline.
Yeah.
You should speak a little bit about that. To get to where you are today, you need some level of discipline. Even though you're unconventional. I say I'm not disciplined at all, but we still need some type of discipline that gets us going every single day to that growth that we want every single day. So, how would you say, or what would you say to someone that feels a little bit lost, that they need to get to that discipline level? Like how, being unconventional. Like, what's some advice for that?
Being unconventional, you can't be driven what the system teaches you. So it's not about what the system teaches you that is right. It's what your burning desire inside tells you that is right. So like the system tells you go to school, get a good job, get an education, get the money, go to work. That's it.
Get into debt,
Go to work for
They
someone
don't tell
else.
you get into debt. They tell you that is good.
Okay.
Right? Because they say, oh yeah, your even the book says like your biggest asset is your home. The fuck is not. Your biggest asset is not your home. It's what you know. It's what yourself inside. It's yourself. It's that desire to move on and be something better. 100%. Right? So as far as discipline, just follow your heart and what your passion is, and that burning desire to be better in whatever way it is.
100%.
Because it comes down to what's going to wake you up in the morning. What is it? Are you waking up in the morning going to work to a place that you absolutely dread? That's not going to desire to be disciplined. You're going to go out, take the day off. You're going to say, you know what? I'm going to go pop this bottle at the club because I don't want to be at work on Monday morning. No, but if you have to wake up for something you love, you're going to skip out on Fridays and Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I'd rather go home. Sometimes I stay home just researching on YouTube, just because I want to research.
That's amazing. That, I think I'm someone that can attest to your passion is what keeps you going. Like, when you know what you really want and you know your why, at that point, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. And for me, it was like I was saying, the Ikigai stuff. When I found out a little bit about it, did research, and found out what I wanted to do was to give back to my community, help other businesses grow, help them get exposure, help them get support. I'm like, bet. It's time to get to work.
That means.
It's like I'm like okay, it's time to get to work for sure. You feel me? But it's because for example, the city of Lawrence, how many barbers do you not have in the same strip right next to each other? So it's like the level of competition is high in business right now, and then we just went through COVID, so all of these businesses were not getting no foot traffic, no type of exposure, and no support. So with companies like ours, like Mindful Purpose, we're able to help them with their online presence. We're able to help them get more sales, which is what keeps their business sustainable and profitable. And that right there is our main goal. It's not to make your business look pretty online. We want to help you be sustainable, that you can keep being in business. As I was doing my presentations, because I've done Shark Tank competition, in school and stuff like that, the Eat for All, Roxbury Innovations, they were always what's your why? It's really that, keeping the businesses sustainable and profitable so they can keep on, But I think that goes into one of my other questions that I have for you is like, in the real estate world, things are always like changing. Like there's always different trends in different markets. How does one stay educated on it? Like what type of like strategies can you share to do that type of stuff?
So I'm sure you're gonna agree. You can agree on this, but real estate and just like any business that you do is numbers. As long as you don't have an emotional attachment to real estate, you're gonna do fine. Just always trust the numbers.
Okay.
And follow the rule of thumb. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
100%.
Right? And then also, as some book that I read says, you don't make money when you sell, you make money when you buy. So if you go in,
You don't make money when you sell. You make money when you buy.
correct, which means if you buy at a good price where it's gonna be profitable, regardless of what happens, regardless of what the market is, you're gonna do good.
Mhm.
So you're making money when you buy, not when you sell. Because if you're overpaying, counting on what it's gonna sell, what the market is gonna be, you're not gonna make any money. So you're counting on that unknown factor
Yeah.
to make profit or money. You know what I mean? So,
The other thing is you got to understand there's going to be a lot of noise,
Mhm.
a ton of noise. People are going to say this is not a good investment. You shouldn't buy this. You shouldn't do that. But they haven't done it themselves. They haven't even looked at the property. They haven't even considered taking a loan. So it comes down to, are you going to trust yourself and believe on what you think is right? And that's when it comes back to being disciplined and trust and taking the leap of faith. Real estate is not always going to work out. It hasn't stopped since before I was born.
Yeah, it's not.
And
It's
it
not
hasn't. It's going to continue. So, is it a strong market? Is there other markets you can make money in? But this is a very strong market. You can just say you can commit yourself and be like, if I want to learn, I can learn. There's access to information everywhere. It's nowhere compared to what it used to be. Back in the days, go look at a property, you had to go to a real estate area, right? You had to open up a book because they had this.
Now you got Zillow and these other ones.
Now you have access on your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep. You're getting emails saying there's 10 properties. And you can compare all 10 properties and you can say, okay, I think this was a good deal. I'm going to see it tomorrow.
100%. And talking about like these 10 properties being there available to you at 3 a.m. or whatever time you're looking at your phone, how do you go about, picking the right one? What set of checklists do you check off when, investing into a property? So this is like kind of like a diversified investments question. It's like, what are the qualifications that you qualify a home before you purchase it? Like what makes sense, in your opinion, to buy a home?
You want to take this one?
honestly, again, it comes down to numbers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so there are different factors that I look into or take into consideration.
Yeah.
As you said, information is public now.
Yeah.
Right? So if you do your research and figure out, like for example, the Brockton house,
Yeah.
all I did was go into public record. Okay, when was the last time that it was remodeled?
Mm-hmm.
The building permit was there.
Mm-hmm.
So a year ago they put in $77,000.
Okay.
That's a massive renovation. Right?
So that's a massive renovation. So like around 50K plus is like big renovation, 50K under small or like how would you number it? Like
it depends how they allocate. Like for example, if you do a $77,000 jacuzzi edition,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not a big renovation.
yeah.
It's just adding
So
jacuzzi.
it like depends on the on the what was the term you used for like the itemized? Was
the itemized, yeah. So that was just an itemized estimate. But the if you put the $77,000 towards kitchens, bathrooms, and bedrooms, you're golden, right?
You think about layout, you gotta replace the whole thing, you spend $70,000 on a bathroom, kitchen. It's a brand new place. It's a brand new home, right? And it always, as it continues to say, it always comes down to numbers. And what works for you. You don't necessarily have to make 70 grand on your first flip. You don't have to.
100%.
1,000 is a win.
Yeah.
Then the next one, now you know what it costs you for materials, what it costs you for the work. Now the next time you work on making 2,000. Now you double that. Next time you work on making 4,000. All is about progress.
Yeah.
You don't have to win 100%. You just have to win. And once you start winning, you're gonna learn.
I love that we're talking about winning, but let's talk about the L's. Let's talk about losing. I'm sure in the real estate world, many people lose. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you go about when you do lose? Because it might happen to you. What's the next steps to make sure you get back on track after you lose? So, to make up for whatever mistake you may have made in the market or in the real estate game?
So, very good question. CODB.
CODV?
CODB.
CODB.
Cost of doing business.
That's a fact. That's a fact. No, it's a reality. It's a reality of it. When you're doing business, you might win, you might lose. Talking about that, I feel like this market, I seen a post yesterday that there's way too many real estate agents. How do you guys feel about that? Not only about the agents part, but just maybe about the scarcity of not many like opportunities to invest in certain cities. Like for example, the city we're in, there's not much buildings left. There's not much space left because it's very overpopulated. I think. How do you deal with that? Do you like leave to another city? Do you expand? Same thing for like a real estate agent. Do you move to another state, or how do you deal with competition essentially?
I guess it depends on which market you're in. If you're a real estate agent, it's a huge competition, right? So you're in competition to be in front of the limelight, make yourself known. You have to find your niche and which domain you want to be in. Because real estate isn't just necessarily residential, which is known for. You can do project management. You can do rentals. You can do commercial. So there's more to real estate than what people know about it, right? But with the real estate, I guess on the other side, the investment side, the agents really don't matter. I'm buying houses, someone's gonna sell it, and someone's gonna sell it, I'm gonna buy it, and someone else is gonna sell it. Who's gonna do the best for me? That's how that works.
So that's why I'm like I haven't been as focused in like the real estate sales and buying portion of it because I'm buying at auction. I'm buying off market deals, right? And again, someone's gonna buy it to live in it. It's just a matter of who's gonna do the best for me, who's gonna be able to like get me a buyer in the door first, right? So that I can eliminate the cost of owning this property. So if I know someone, like for example, my friend from Springfield, Carl was flipping Springfield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was the best in his area, and he proved once in his area. We sold the first multi-family house in Springfield over $400,000.
Wow. So that's like set in stone. You guys sold the first multi-family home in Springfield for over 400K.
Correct. And like, it took me longer to get the house renovated and ready than it did to sell.
Wow.
Like, literally, I texted him on a Wednesday, I think, or a Tuesday. I said, it's ready to sell. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. He's like, did you drive down here? And I'm like, no. He's like, so then you're not sure? And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to have an open house on Saturday. He drove by the house, got in, checked it, sent me a bunch of items and things. And he was like, Saturday, I have an open house. I didn't hear from him Saturday or Sunday. And then Monday came, he was like, I have an offer for you.
Wow.
He's like, what do you want to do? And then obviously I listened to him. I'm like, what do you think? And he said, well, it's an offer. You're essentially the customer, so it's your decision. However, look at what's happening in the market. Your call. So he left it up to me. So then I was like, I made a decision to like do more research before I accepted the offer.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, Carlos, I think we're gonna pass. Yeah. He's like, okay, I'll get you another buyer. Next day, one of the other offers, because there were multiple offers. At the moment, he presented them, but he didn't give me the whole.
The whole shebang. Like, he showed you one, but he had a couple other ones.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, he did show me all, but I guess I only talked about the one that was the one that was like,
okay, it was interesting one.
Yeah, because it was like, conventional, and it was like no, I don't know, it was just an easy offer. And then he's like, yeah, well, let's consider the other ones. What other ones? Yeah, the other ones. And then he came up with the second one, the third, the fourth. Which one do you want? That one. And then eventually, fix, bought, fix, flip, sold. Wow. Did that. Same thing with the Brockton one. Brockton one, again, I did my research, as I said. Best realtor in Brockton. This guy came up, I called him, we spoke, I interviewed him. I said, how soon can you sell this house? He said, well, and look at it, give you real numbers. He gave me a realistic CMA, which is a market analysis. Yeah. He gave me a CMA, I didn't like it, like, do better, and you're hired. He came back, he did better, and he delivered. I said, well, 3 months is what I have. Because 3 months is typically how long it takes for an FHA buyer to qualify after you purchase a house. You gotta own the property
Own the property for
3 months before you can sell to an FHA buyer. And soon enough, there are multiple offers, doing those best. So I don't think the market has anything to do with real estate, to be honest with you. People are always gonna buy. Whether the interest is high, the houses are high, the prices, it doesn't matter. People always buy real estate. People always buy and sell real estate.
Yeah, because that was what my next question was going to be like. How is the market right now? 'Cause, like, I'm not in the real estate world, but I'm always listening like, oh, the market is this, like the market's gonna go down with the fuel, you know. But I think it's been going up. It's been going up for the past few years, or am I wrong? And like, what's the trend right now? Like, what do you guys? Is it more single family that's being purchased and sold? Like, give some insights of how the market is right now. Like, what's trending by being bought? What's trending being sold essentially right now?
Well, it really comes down to doing your research. Every market has a different priority per se. One, on highly populated urban areas, multifamilies are going to be a big hit. It doesn't matter where it is in the market, they're always going to be a big hit. If you're looking at somewhere like Methuen or Drake, there's going to be a niche for single families, and depending on whatever area you're in. Back to the same, there's going to be a lot of noise. People are always going to talk about the market. People are going to say you should wait. There's a bubble. It's going to burst. This and that. As a real estate agent, I was taught from my office to the best time to buy is now. Why? If you're ready to buy, are you ready to buy? Then the time for you to buy is now. Why listen to anybody else? You're the person you need to listen to you. Are you ready to make an investment? Are you ready to buy your first property? Are you ready to buy your next property? Are you ready to move? Did your family grow? Did your family decrease? Did it suddenly? There's so many reasons. Did you get divorced? Did you fight with your girl? Did you lose a dog? There's so many reasons why to buy a house. So there's people that make money just on divorces. They go to divorce court.
This is to find their potential clients.
That happens. It's a real thing people do. It's just people are gonna buy. People have reasons to buy. And right now the market's hot. Ever since COVID, everybody knows it. It's never stopped. It might have slowed down a little bit on the sense that the price jumped. Yeah. But the market of selling has not slowed.
That's amazing.
How do you feel about that?
Same. I mean, as an investor, from the investor side and contractor, again, there's always going to be someone buying. There's always going to be someone selling. Why? Because there's always someone who just graduated, who got their dream job, who's finally ready to buy their first home. It doesn't matter what the market looks like, they're ready, just like you said. There's always someone that's looking for the property of their dream. And they might have had a house for 30 years and they finally have the money not to buy their dream home. They don't care what the market looks like. From the investor side of it, you don't follow the trends of what the market is. You follow the trends of what real estate is. And real estate is always something tangible. Real estate is the only tangible investment that you can make, right? So if Wall Street is open and people are trading and people are investing in non-tangible things, like stocks or whatever it is, then I'm pretty sure people can invest in real estate, which you can physically touch and see. And it's always going to be there regardless of what the market is or what the...
I think it's fair to say that real estate is like a passion purchase. Like, when your gut says go, go. Like, I think, but what are some things that I myself, I haven't invested into real estate. What do I need first to invest? I know there's certain programs that the FHA is one, right? But like, what are some, like, what's the standard procedure to both into like buying a home with a real estate agent, but also buying potentially like an off-market home with an investor and a developer? Like, what are the standard procedures to get started tomorrow if we were ready, essentially?
I think you can take on for the real estate portion of it, and I'll just talk on the investment portion of it.
I mean, finding your realtor is huge. The realtor is going to guide you through the process, let you know what you need, where you need to be. They're going to connect you with a lender that they trust. Maybe that you talk if you're interested in your lender, to talk to your lender. But it comes down to breaking it down to knowing where you are financially, where you are credit-wise, understanding how much you can afford, and that comes down with guidance. And that's what a good realtor would do. The realtor's job is to take care of you 100%. If I'm not doing that, I'm not doing once I commit to you, I cannot do you any wrong. I can't lie to you. I can't be shady with you. My job is to protect you at all times. So finding a realtor you can trust, work with, and get along with is probably one of the biggest steps that people think, oh, I'm just going to find the next one. I'm just going to jump on better and get another one. No, you're just going with whoever, and then the person who's not going to work with you as hard to get you the property or tell you the truth on, I don't think it's worth this much, or I think you should offer more for this much because it's of value to you, or understand what your needs are. Maybe tell you, you don't need that extra sunroom in the back. You kind of need a third bedroom. I think you should look at these properties. Some never be honest with you, but I think that's kind of like where to start for sure.
And then as far as the investment portion of it, it's like from the investment side of it, to buy directly from an investor versus a real estate agent, or to buy as an investor, I should say. So we're looking for the deals that are not out there, which gives us a little bit more leverage and profits, because we're not buying retail, we're buying wholesale, or we're buying off market. If you're buying a property, you want to buy directly from an investor. All that does is it gives you an opportunity to buy a little cheaper than you would a sales agent or a real estate sales agent. But whether you're buying with an agent or you're buying with an investor, as long as you're buying real estate, it doesn't matter how you do it. You have to evaluate different factors like the costs. If it's a rent, if it's an income property, like your residual, how much is generated. If you're gonna live in it, you gotta figure out like what your mortgage is and what your added expenses are. If you're buying a condo and it's your first condo, you gotta figure out what your condo fees are. Right? A lot of young people buy condos because they're cheap and the mortgage is low, but then you realize that the condo fee or the HOA is high. Which what that means is
HOA?
yeah, so it's the condo fee.
Condo
It's,
fee or HOA fee.
yeah, it's the cost of the building, taking care of your snow plow, your trash.
Kind of like a maintenance fee type thing.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you this when you're buying it. And they do tell you it, but you don't know. And young people don't know enough about it, where they can make a smart decision to buy a condo without knowing the condo fees or the HOAs. So they see a condo. Oh, I see a condo for $250,000. My mortgage is gonna be like $1,400, $1,300. That's less than my rent. But then your condo fee is $700.
And your condo fees is usually like month to month type of thing, or is it like an annual thing?
Condo fees can vary. Depends on what's going on. Condo fees is a thing that, depending on it's supposed to cover the master insurance. Some condos cover things like landscaping, trash removal, paving. Then it also covers things like general repair. So a condo fee, depending on where it varies, could fall into future repairs. What happens is if a condo doesn't put enough money into that account, they can call what's called a special assessment. Let's say a condo needed a new roof, but didn't have enough money in the account. Well, now they readjust and everybody's condo fee goes up because they need to pay for that new roof. So understanding what the condo fee is, making sure the condo is paying enough for the future, that you're not going to have a change in your mortgage because you want to be in the middle of it. The money, when people first buy the house, they're looking at the number. How much am I going to pay a month total? Guess what? Every homeowner learns in the first year. The next year, your mortgage is not the same. And some of the taxes go up.
Yeah.
Insurance could go up. Escrow changes. Water bill. It's just not the same.
I know the water bill is expensive for that. Help my mom with that.
So, I mean, it's, we focus on the number, but that's what it comes back to. Having a good lender, having a good real estate agent, and explain that to you, break it down to you, prepare you, and then answer those questions of where you're going to be. Is this a forever home? Is this a 5-year home? Is this a 7-year home for you? Because that matters.
100%.
Maybe I plan on living in this area for only 3 years. I kind of want to move out to the suburbs. I just got engaged. We plan on getting married in 2 years. What are you planning on doing from here to here?
Great.
One of the misperceptions too that people have right now. That's one thing I can say about the real estate market. I'm sorry, don't kill me, Mr. Real Estate Agent. But anyway, people have this perception that they buy multifamilies and that they're gonna live rent free. Not right now.
I'll buy multifamily.
Everyone wants to buy a multifamily. Right now, the only time where a multifamily makes sense is if you're buying a 6+ unit.
Wow. And people not really doing that. Like, at least not around here.
Well, 6+ unit, you typically need 20% down, and it is a commercial loan. Am I wrong?
No, this is.
So 20% down of a $2 million property, you're talking $400K, with a higher interest rate because it's a commercial loan versus a residential.
So commercial loans have higher interest rate than residential loans?
It's essentially a
It's
business.
a bigger.
It's a business.
Well, they know you're making money,
So
so they want to make money as well.
okay.
So I believe anything after 4 units is considered
Commercial.
Commercial.
Okay.
So again, the misperception that people have right now is that, especially first-time home buyers
Mhm.
in our market, in our area,
Mhm.
they say, okay, well, I want to buy a multifamily because I want to rent out second and third and live on the first floor free. Guess what? A 3-family right now is going for $750 to $1 million.
$750, around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so anywhere from
Depending on the area.
Yeah, $750 to $1 million. If you calculate the current interest rate and mortgage,
Mhm.
you're not living rent free.
I don't know.
You're paying as much, or maybe sometimes more than your renters.
Plus, you have the responsibility of trash, you know, unforeseen expenses like heaters, water heaters that burst, someone hit the front and you gotta call the insurance. So there's just a lot of unforeseen expenses, plus your mortgage.
Plus, like your permanent expenses that you already
And
have.
then the other thing is you're dealing with tenants. You might get great tenants,
Right now.
you might not. I mean, right now with the rent, you might find a lot of people that are gonna give you first, last, and security, but
The month-to-month factor.
well, not only that, but like if you look at the current rent market, you know, in Lawrence is between $1,800 to $3,000. Okay, someone who has the rates, the pay per hour rate at jobs hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
So for a family to afford a $2,500 rent every month, they can't go out, and they're making $2,500 a month. They gotta do Uber, they gotta do some sort of freelance to be able to cover the rent, and then all the added expenses, heat, you know, the utilities, heat, electric,
Cable.
So-
Everybody's cable now.
cable,
Wi-Fi,
internet,
everything.
Wi-Fi, yeah. So with the whole buying multifamilies right now, if you can do it, great.
Yeah, I mean, is it a smart investment? It can be. And it goes back to trusting the numbers. One thing that you will get from buying a multifamily is that you will gain equity much faster because you are paying a larger portion of your mortgage much quicker.
What do you mean by you will gain equity much faster? What does that mean?
Equity is a sense of how much of the mortgage you don't own. That is your equity. So if you bought a house, to make easy math, 500,000, you owe 400,000. You have an equity of 100,000. Okay. Multifamilies tend to increase sometimes a little bit quicker, or more, and sell for more, right? But doesn't mean you can't do that with a single or an investment property where you buy to renovate and kind of make it into a better living space. So is a multifamily a good purchase? Comes down to numbers. It all depends on where you want it.
100%. This goes into my next question for you, Jose. Looking ahead, what are your plans and aspirations for both RCS and Diversified Investments? Talking 5 years, 10 years. What is the plan with those two companies right now?
So for right now, I guess I could say my main focus. So RCS has been around for a while now.
Mhm.
When I say a while, I mean a few years. 2015, and I survived COVID. Meaning not me personally, but the company survived COVID.
Yeah.
So what that means is that we're strong enough where we didn't collapse through everything that has happened. Typically, in the first 5 years, if a business is going to survive, you know, it's gonna go past the 5 years. If it's not gonna make it, then they're within the 5 years, or year 8 or 9 or whatever.
Wow.
Which means we're solid to some extent.
Yeah.
So Rosar Construction is always gonna be the go-to construction company for Diversified in rehabbing, flipping, development, whatever it is that Diversified does, Rosar Construction is gonna take care of the construction portion. As far as Diversified, the idea is to grow the portfolio as best as we can, so that a year from now we're doing new development.
Yeah.
We're creating more housing. We're doing more units, building more single families, building more properties, building more,
Yeah.
and then also continuing to do, you know, just any type of real estate investment transaction that is going to generate a profit for us, and then also for Rosario Construction, and also for our investors, and also for our agents, also for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's overall growth and future development of real estate.
This is probably to also help the community. Which
Yeah,
is huge. It provides housing for people that don't have it, provides opportunity, provides work, provides jobs. It's just more than just a project and a money grab. This helps feed people, add people housing. It's a lot more. It touches a lot of bases.
Okay, great. What inspires you guys to be in this specific field? You could have done this and done probably great too with cars or freaking airplanes. Why real estate? Like what type of passion do you guys have with the real estate industry that keeps you guys learning more, growing day to day? Because again, there's so many fields, there's so many markets. You know, why real estate and why maybe commercial real estate? You know, which is I think one of the main focuses with you guys. Why real estate?
You can start with your idea on this.
Well, real estate just since the beginning, I've always wanted to, even myself, I wanted to buy a house, and I always wanted to know the process, learn. Always wanted to work on my own house, try to figure that out, and it turned into a fire. I needed to know why, what's going on, what are the ins and outs, because I'm meticulous when it comes to that. When I'm passionate about something, I need to know how it works, and every other avenue. So it became into, okay, I want to buy a house. How do you buy a house? But I don't want to buy it as a consumer. I want to buy it as the person selling a house, so I can understand what's going on. How do you inspect the house? What's going on with, if I want to add an addition, if I want to change this up to be completely different, what is it going to take to do that? So once you get invested into that, you start seeing the different avenues, and then you start seeing after you purchase yourself through your own headaches and mistakes, you say, hey, wow, I could really do this and help someone else throughout the process. Then it turned into, this isn't necessarily a sales job where I need to scan somebody on. I'm selling something to someone, which is one of the biggest purchases in their lives, and they're super excited about it. And I'm just bringing them along with the journey with guidance and a passion that's I'm here for you, and that makes me feel good. I'm not selling you a car or trying to make $5,000 profit on a car that might break down. I'm helping you on a journey that was only opening up doors, because now you bought a house. Now you can either fix your house, or you can go ahead and buy an investment property, or once you grow your family, or whatever, it turns into a big relationship. I've always been a people person, so that would help me on that, for sure.
For me, I think the passion for real estate comes from, if you Google right now, fastest way to get rich, it might be different from when I search on my own. But one of the first things that came up was real estate, right? So, what drove me to invest, to get into real estate and construction and all that was, coming from nothing basically, and Googling or searching how to get rich and how to get rich fast is real estate. But then they don't tell you all the work that comes with it. Getting educated, saving money, sacrificing other things to be able to invest when you're on a limited budget and unlimited income. So I think that is what drove me to get into real estate. Was we're always looking for that how to get rich. And if you look around, most of the wealthiest people always have a strong real estate portfolio.
Yep.
Right? So it's like they invest in a lot of things, but real estate is like number one. It's like always, because as I mentioned before, it's something tangible. We're in a building right now. This is a piece of real estate, right? So that's kind of what drove me to it.
It's true. I mean, if you look up anybody you aspire to be, any famous person, anybody that's a role model to you, you look at their portfolio, they have real estate. There's actually people that own real estate here in Lawrence that are famous baseball players, famous people. There's people in this area that are multi-millionaires, and they just own real estate. Just with that. I mean, I guess a little part of me is about that as well. So
No, I think the revenue and the income is it influences everybody a little bit, but beyond that, I think it's really the community aspect. And talking a little bit about community, I would like to go into the event we have coming up August 28th. We have Motivational Monday coming up. It is an event for all young entrepreneurs to come out, learn from amazing panelists, and just ask questions. Really get informed, gain some knowledge. And aside from that, we want to do a giveaway as well for an entrepreneur in the room. We want to give away some capital and as well as some marketing package from us, Minds with Purpose. So maybe speak a little bit about, what this event is going to mean to us, and why are we putting this event together, Jose?
Basically, you are in the event industry, and I'm in the real estate investment construction portion of it. So when you mentioned doing this whole thing of like giving back, whatever, I am always out for supporting and sponsoring and helping out anyone who wants to succeed at being an entrepreneur, because I know how hard it is, and I wish I would have had some sort of event when I was like going into business to help. So the moment he said, okay, well, this could be great because of this and this, and I'm like, okay, well, I have sponsored a lot of things before that don't mean anything to me. But when you talk about my community and you talk about giving back to people that want to be entrepreneurs, what would I have liked? And it would have been what you're doing, which is giveaway, marketing plan, business plan. How do I get my feet up? The unforeseen of owning a business. These are some of the questions that people can ask the panelists when they go to the event. Is, how do I get started? And the second question is, how do I get rich? That's pretty much that's my input on the event, and what you're doing with Minds with Purpose is helping people fulfill their dream of being an entrepreneur, but at the same time making them aware of what the ups and downs are and what to expect going into business. It's not easy. 100%. And if they can find something to help them, then
100%. And I think, beyond the marketing services we have, the live events we have, the community aspect that we have here at Minds with Purpose is really the biggest, thing about it, that one day you can come to an event of ours and meet either, your business partner or meet your life partner, or just meet someone that you're going to purchase a service or product from. It's amazing because there's so many amazing individuals in the world. We all have dreams. We all have $1 million ideas. We're all creative in our own unique way, but we just don't know how to get started. That's one thing. Also, when things get hard, we may not be able to keep going alone. So having that community aspect is very big. So with everything we do, we really want to just always share light to, having the community, being part of something. Talking about being a part of something, having a community, how do you build strong relationships with partners, investors, and stakeholders in your real estate ventures? These are big purchases. This is not a 5K, 2K, 10K purchase. This is like 400, 500, a million plus. So how do you go about building those strong relationships with your investors, your partners, or whoever may be in that, in that specific project with you guys?
Building trust comes down to your integrity, your honesty, and admitting your failures. That's one thing people don't get. You're not going to be perfect. But a person that will trust you is if you can tell them, listen, I either don't know or I fucked up. And I'm going to make it right, but I'm telling you ahead of time that I fucked up. It's much easier to come on head on than try to hide it or sweep it under the rug or try to lie about it. But once you build that integrity and touch base with other people that are like-minded like you, that are willing to grow with you and understand that there's going to be bumps and there's going to be mistakes, but the light at the end of the tunnel is that we get there together. We get there as one. What I committed to you is completed, and I've gone above and beyond what I need to. So I need to stick to that message. You will get there. You will build that relationship. How do you feel?
with me is, again, it all comes down to trust. If you can't trust the people that you're doing business with or you're partnering with, then don't do business with them, right? I rely solely on trust with people, or mostly, because at the end of the day, if you don't trust people, then, if you don't trust business partners, then don't be in business, right? Because you're always going to get down, but then also you can find great people, you can do business with great people that can bring you up, that can, help you grow. financial partners, it's always good to be like very detailed and clear with the real expectations so that they understand what to expect throughout the journey of investing, right? So if you're investing in a real estate deal as a buyer, as a seller, or as an investor to buy property or whatever it is, make sure that you explain a clear, present a clear picture of what to expect going into a deal, time-wise, money-wise, unforeseens, losses, even, right? Investors don't like to talk about losses, but they're a part of investing. They're a part of taking risk. And when you invest, you take a risk. Okay? So that's pretty much what I have to say on relationship with investors.
At the end of the day, there's a saying that goes under promise and over deliver. I mean, you've probably heard that plenty of times, but if you commit to that, you can make it work for sure.
100%. All right, we're having a great conversation. If anybody has a question, please ask it. This is knowledge for you guys to get, more opportunities in the real estate world, whether to invest, to become an agent, or whatever it is you want to do with your career. How about we start talking about a little bit about, how you guys got involved with this, I know you mentioned at 21 you bought your first home and stuff like that. How was that like, because again, many people don't know how to start. A lot of the questions I get when I go to be a panelist at events is like, how do you start? And what I tell everybody is you just got to start. Don't think about it too much. Figure out what your business plan is going to be and go out there, give it a shot, really, put things in motion, start executing. So how was those first early days, in this world for you guys?
So I think for me is expect the worst and hope for the best, right? And then also like coming from my background, I guess because I come from nothing, what's the worst that can happen? Is that I go back to having nothing? I already know what having nothing looks like. So what am I afraid of? You know what I mean? Like I'm afraid of having nothing, or I'm afraid of being successful at trying to do something. You know what I mean? And then you just have to take the leap of faith and try. And just hope that you're gonna succeed. You know what I mean? And go in expecting to succeed. Because if you go in thinking or doubting yourself, if you start a business or if you start something and you're doubting yourself, what is gonna make someone else trust you with their business if you doubt yourself? But if you're confident and you know that you're gonna be the best that you can be, and that you're gonna be the best for whoever it is that partners up with you or that you bring your business to, then that's it, you're there, right? The worst that's gonna happen is you might fail or you might go back to having nothing. And for some of us, we already know what having nothing looks like. And all we do is just pick ourselves up and retry. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. You know where your low is. And I left 9 to 5 a couple of years ago to join the real estate market. And at first I was scared. I wasn't sure. But I did have friends that started their own business, and you can see them just continue to grow. You kind of have to just jump, and you're gonna fly. You're not gonna fall. You're gonna fly. It's just a matter of the pressure, whether it takes pressure. Some people take pressure. Sometimes people procrastinate to the last minute. You got to figure out what it is about you that's gonna make you fly. You're gonna fly. You're gonna see yourself back against the wall. It's going to happen, but that's when you fight the hardest. So you're not going to let yourself go back down. And believing in yourself is huge. And I've said this before, you're going to hear a lot of noise. People are going to say, oh, that's not going to work. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. But they haven't never tried it. They've never thought about it. They haven't even looked up what it takes. You just spent probably 40, 50, 60 hours researching one project in a night. And they don't have not even 10 minutes to look into it. You just dedicated so much in your life, and you just have to be able to say, yes, I'm going to do this. And believe me, once you commit to yourself, you don't want to let yourself down.
Yeah, don't let anyone else's pre-programmed beliefs of it can't be done stop you from doing it, right? So someone's beliefs of the limited beliefs of it can't be done can't stop your doing it. So all you gotta do is, like you said, Get up and do it.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, you go back to having nothing. If you're, if you're at the bottom, you already know what it looks like. So just go back down, pick yourself back up, expect the best. Expect the worst. I'm sorry. Expect the worst and hope for the best.
When someone tells you that you should enjoy it, it's because they're telling themselves they can't.
100%. And talking about what somebody told you, one of the amazing questions we have on the live is, did you guys have mentors? And it's one of my favorite questions because I definitely have mentors, so I know the importance of mentorship, but I'm sure it's different in the real estate world because you got people telling you, yeah, invest 400K. So speak a little bit about your mentors, maybe who were they, and what information did they provide to you that clicked something in your brain to take their advice and apply it right there and then. So speak a little bit about mentors and mentorship.
Go ahead. You go ahead. I think about this one.
Well, for mentors, I really fell heavily on. Well, back then, I was working with a bunch of different managers in the various industries that I was working in. I mostly worked in the telecommunications business. But I've had really good managers and really bad managers. And the really good managers were the ones that were always driven, always open, had conversations versus giving you direction. And I think that's super important when you're looking for a mentor. Someone that's willing to actually talk to you about what's going on, actually talk to you about what the next steps are. And when you have a question, instead of providing the answer, they're providing you the tools on how to get to the answer. Because it's really easy when I was back in my manager days to, let's say, serve somebody an answer. But when you give someone tools and options and how to find it, you actually bring them up to another level. Because now they can manage themselves. The mentorship that I have out of the office that I work at is great. I don't think I've mentioned it, but I work for Century 21 McLennan and Company out of McLean. The team that works there is just amazing, and they really help with any question that I have. If I need a ride along. So the entire team there is supportive. So the major players there have always been. I'll tell you, they're definitely my mentors in that, and I have a few mentors back in my day in the telecommunications world for sure.
My answer is going to be a little bit less conventional, a little bit less professional. There's no better mentor than being broke. Okay, so my mentor was just being broke. I had a family at an early age, right? So I had a son at 19. And I don't think there was a better mentor. I don't think there would have been anyone that would have motivated me more than, that little guy saying, I don't care whether you have money or not, but I'm hungry.
Yeah.
That was my mentor. That was my driving factor, was having a family at an early age, and then also coming from nothing and seeing what nothing looks like and being tired of having nothing. You know what I mean? So that for me was that mentor, right? So besides that, I didn't have a specific person that I can go back to and say, this person mentored me to do better or to do this or to do that. I have had a lot of influential people help me succeed, but not by what they told me, but just imitating behaviors that they applied to their lives, disciplines, and then implementing them into my life.
100%. Right? What were you saying earlier? It's not broken.
Yeah, so if it's not broken, don't fix it.
100%. I think that goes for habits as well. Like if you see a successful person doing certain habits, you start doing those same habits, I'm sure you'll see some type of change in your life. And another great question we got from our live is, what was something that you guys always wanted to pursue career-wise, or was real estate always the goal? Or was there something else? Did you want to be a cop? Did you want to be a swimsuit model? Or it was always real estate?
For me, I would say, the one thing I like to do is play tennis, but I wasn't not comparing the US Open. I'll tell you
Roger
that.
Ferraro.
Actually, I wanted to be an electrical. One thing that I did go, I always like electrical. I do 12 volt, which is car audio and like alarm remote starts. I went to school for that as at a tech school. One thing I do is never stop learning, to be honest with you. I just signed up for courses to learn electrical for home electrical. So I'm starting that class in September. But filling yourself with knowledge, I think is great. And that's one thing I actually learned from one of my mentors, Jeffrey Leslie, was my cousin. He's just phenomenal in business and very huge success, and I can rely on him whenever I have a question when it comes to what my next step is, what my next move is, or how I feel. So forgot to mention him, so I apologize. But definitely, I wanted to be an electrician. So now I'm going to school for it. Even though this is what I do, I wanted to continue my education. I decided to do, you know what? I'm going to learn. I learned 12 volt. Now I'm going to learn the residential or 120 volt electricity.
So it's funny, I laugh, because since we're a little kid, we're pre-programmed by our Spanish parents that if you want to be successful, you gotta be a doctor. So as I'm sure my mom was feeding me when I was a baby, 2 years old, I'm gonna feed you, but you gotta be a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to be a doctor, but I thought that to be successful, you have to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I'm gonna be a doctor. Right? So, but no, I honestly didn't know what I wanted to be. I never really found what was my passion. I just kind of went as times hit me. I just had to improvise and kind of succeed as I went with whatever it was that I was doing, and I tried to be the best at whatever it was that I was doing at the time. And then when I got into real estate and construction and just seeing what real estate is and construction and just like taking a space and building something out of it, I figured out that I wanted to be an artist, right? Because you want to take something, you want to take something that's blank canvas and turn it into something. So I guess I can say I wanted to be an artist of some sort.
And became real estate.
I became real estate. I take properties, I fix them, and I sell them. So that's art.
That's your art. No, that's definitely what's up. And I think this has been a great conversation. If you guys that are listening and tuning in, please tune in, stay updated, follow RCS Boston, follow Diversified Investments for more content like this, and follow Gustavo's account. He's gonna shout himself out right now, and that'll be my last thing for you guys. Just shout out your social medias and tell them whatever else you'll leave the community with.
Yes, so you can follow me at justcallme_Gusto, Gusto. I'm in the community all the time, so you'll see me around Lawrence. My family, my mother has a business here. We've been here for 20 years.
What business is that? Shout it out.
So her business is Handset Latina at 101 Amesbury. So she does, it's a multi-service basically, so for sure. But I'm available, you can hit me up. My phone's always available too, so because I'm a real estate agent, so it's public, 978-494-4554. I'm sure they'll put me and tag me in the comments.
He already said it, so I'm not big on social media.
So tune in. We got way more content like this, and if you're ready to invest today, tune in and contact us now. Thank you. Great job.
I think we're having conversations.
That's how you sneak it in there. Content in this.
They worked that into us.
I got you.
They did.
That was really good.
So we weren't ready for an interview. Me and you were just having a conversation, and it turned it into an interview.
So we're gonna be mic'd up easily. I hope you guys liked that. That was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a lot of engagement from your followers here. So just give us a login. Next time I'll have all my
I
phones.
gotta reset it. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
The same thing too. So how do I see?
But I screenshot the viewers so we know who's that target audience that's interested. So now we're gonna reach out to the RCS Boston.
So how do you see which ones? Like, who? I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, yours. So this is where you can.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And no, I screenshotted during mine. For yours though, there was a lot of people that knew you were getting like a lot of fire emojis, a lot of waves. So we gotta do that maybe once a week or something.
You screenshot on this one?
No, her phone.
No, I screenshotted ours, like from our target, like our network. Now we know who to refer to your pages. So that was just.
Are we able to save the lives?
Yeah, so I'm saving it now. It's just really big.
Okay.
Oh no, I have to post it. I have to post it.
Can we post it and save it?
Yeah, I must post it real quick.
Yeah, post it, save it real quick, cause.
Yeah, good conversation, guys. It was really interesting to learn more about you. You're definitely where camera shy, like you said.
I am camera shy.
I was on to
having
your
a conversation.
face.
It was easier because we're having a
Yeah.
conversation.
If you would have been just us, I would have been like,
No, I feel like this is working. Okay. So just post this in right away.
Yeah. I think
What?
King's trying over here.
Yeah, I need some work done on my social media. And I would like to create a page.
Yeah.
So let me know when we can connect to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're the person where you can do so much. I couldn't do a walkthrough and just talking. You have a lot of value to give.
Yeah, so save the live, we need the audio from it.
wait, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. I wrote it.
No, we got it here. That's
No, it's okay. I have it.
It's right here. Yeah.
And you know what? I saved the screenshot on my phone because of that.
No.
How many people went into this one?
A couple. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yours had about, I would say, it was only for a couple minutes, but it had like 20, 30 people going through. Ours, we got a lot.
We had like 50 people, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of people stayed. Some people stayed the entire time. A girl was just asking me mad questions. She's a model. She's not even in real estate, but she's a reporter too. She's beautiful.
Who is she?
Martina.
What's her name?
Oh.
Yeah, she's in DC, but she's a reporter in Boston. She did like the Boston Fashion Awards, so definitely talk to her too about maybe getting her team on here to do like a news report or something. Just some ideas. We got connections that are really, passionate about everything.
So before you guys go, talk to me about RCS, what you need, and what
Yeah.
that's something we're gonna target next week over.
So we definitely need to get the login stuff. I'll send you over.
Yeah, same thing that you did for the Diversified.
Yeah. Okay, so just reciting it.
So wait, I think it might be in your phone. Can you grab it real quick?
Like save type thing.
Yeah, there's an iCloud keychain in your
Alright,
settings.
that's all.
Oh, wow, you're really secure. Okay, then never mind. Most people just keep it on, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not most people.
No, I see that, so that's fine. You can just leave it that way.
But I can reset, same thing as we reset it the other one. Just so we can reset the password.
So just let's do it right now. Let's try it out. Just lock it in right now.
Yeah, I'm just supposed to be.
He's doing it now.
Girls 556.
Oh, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, but we need to log in or something to get it.
But yeah, essentially what we'll do is we'll give us a login so we can create the page. Even with the views you have there, we can still change the cover photo. So we can keep all those because we have good numbers.
What do you mean? We could change that?
Yeah, of course. Instead of
Yeah.
having the logo of the
Yeah,
design.
that's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't look too good. So if we could keep it,
Yeah,
that's
we
good
can
numbers.
keep them. I could change the covers.
Perfect.
We'll make a bio, we'll make some highlights.
Can we repost it? Can we download the same video
And
and
then,
repost
we'll
it?
repurpose a few. The ones that did numbers or the ones that maybe didn't get enough engagement, we'll repurpose it.
Check out the analytics, see what time
Yeah.
people are on the page. Because clearly, I mean, you haven't gone live in a minute, and people are there. So
Yeah, exactly.
people are interested in the tuning in.
Yeah, every time I post stuff, it's like I get a lot of
No, I see
the
that
little
too.
parts and the little things. And
So you're getting the love. So yeah, those are the first people that are gonna engage in the content. And then we'll film at those places to give us a few different spots. And even the ones from the unit, we got content from that, but now we have access to the page, we can actually do something.
so how do I see the live?
So like you have to post it.
Just post it real quick and save it.
But I'm
No,
posting.
not mine. I'm saying yours.
No, I'm posting and I'm saving it right now.
And
Yeah.
then you send it over to us.
Yeah, so it's pretty long, but I
I tagged you on the
Oh, okay, the story. Good.
So what I'll do is, do you have the new password?
Damn. So, doing marketing, you run into a lot of technical difficulties. I connected the wrong mic to the camera. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm glad I thought of going live on my
No,
own.
yeah. So we got the audio from the live, but we don't have this audio. But we'll make it work. We'll do this. We can maybe do this consistently.
Mhm.
You don't always have to be in it, Jose. You can maybe just
Yeah, I'll give you guys the info.
give us the info and we'll.
It was easy because it was here.
Yeah. If you wasn't here, we might have had to been like just us doing it. But it was good. Even that, with other partners that you may have conversations with them, I think that could be like your own series. That could be something good, whether it's equity partners or just clients or whatever it is.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that I It's like, yeah, like you heard Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to stay alive. Her husband,
Jose, yeah.
stay
They own
370 units in arms.
Oh, yeah.
So the
Praising you on the phone, yeah, that's good.
Even that alone, if we actually, hey, dude, you know, that's great content.
I definitely want to start a full series on like the buyer.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do, so you can definitely help with this. I wanted to do actually first steps. Well, what are the steps?
Yeah.
First steps, engagement, just quick clips, maybe 4 or 5. But then I also wanted to do it in Spanish.
That's smart, yeah, that's a market.
That's something else that, you know, we definitely have to get into, like the Spanish speaking market for content, because the Spanish market itself is thriving right now. Like the Spanish music,
It's either that or subtitle it in Spanish.
But I think the Spanish content is the way to go, to be honest. So for RCS, you decided already or? We already have a content calendar, right?
Yeah, we have a calendar, so we can get started using what we have now, and then it's just a bonus going to come
I'll
content.
share the content calendar with you. We just need to set dates on it, right?
Yeah, but essentially, it's also to decide what your goal is out of it, because we can offer 2 different types of styles of marketing. So, yeah. So if you just our judgment, we'll do our thing. Filming doesn't take long either. That's really the difference between the packages, is the amount of time we're filming and the amount of time. Like we went to the Spencer job. Yeah, the drive was a while, but it took us like 30 minutes to grab content.
Yeah, most of these, again, and as more people, I guess, like him now with the real estate thing, and I'm sure he's gonna come to me with someone, hey, I got a deal, like, what are we
For
gonna do?
sure.
But then also, as we grow more, we're gonna have to travel less if it's a local deal,
Yeah.
right? But then eventually, we're more national, so the whole idea is to go